Let me ask you a question, my friends. Have you ever poured out your pain to someone only to regret it later? Have you ever trusted the wrong person and instead of comfort, you got judgment, gossip, or betrayal? You see, pain itself is heavy. But when you share it with the wrong person, it becomes even heavier. And the truth is, not everyone who smiles at you wishes you well. Not every ear deserves to hear your tears. And not every heart is strong enough to carry your wounds. My dear friends, let's be honest. When you are going through pain, the first instinct of the human heart is to find someone to talk to, someone who will understand. But here is a bitter truth of life. Not everyone cares about your pain. You see, most people in this world are so busy carrying their own burdens, they hardly have the capacity to carry yours. Imagine this. You walk up to someone and say, "I'm really feeling broken today." And they nod politely, but in their mind, they're thinking, "Oh, I still have electricity bills to pay, deadlines to meet, kids to handle, traffic to deal with." Your pain becomes just another line in the long list of noises in their head. And then there are some people who don't really care, but pretend they do. Have you seen this? You start telling them your problem, and within 2 minutes, they're already scrolling on their phone, nodding like a puppet, saying, "I understand," but in reality, they are probably checking how many likes their Instagram post has received. They don't care about your tears, they care about their notifications. And here's the saddest part. When you share your deepest wound with someone who doesn't care, instead of healing, you feel emptier. It's like pouring water into a basket with holes. No matter how much you pour, nothing stays. That's why, my friends, you must understand sharing your pain with everyone is like knocking on random doors in a city and expecting someone to shelter you. Not every door will open, not every home is warm, and not every heart is ready to understand you. Now, I am not saying people are bad. No, they are just occupied, preoccupied, distracted, overwhelmed, just like you are. So the problem is not that people are heartless. The problem is that you expected everyone to have space for your pain. And that expectation, when not met, gives you more hurt than the pain itself. Yes, my friends, this is where the danger lies. You see, not everyone who listens to your pain is listening with love. Some listen with curiosity, and some listen with hidden motives. And later, the very pain you shared in trust comes back to attack you. Let me explain. Imagine you confide in someone. "I'm struggling financially right now." You told them because you trusted them. But later, when a conflict arises, what do they say? "Oh, please, you can't even handle your own money, and you're trying to advise me." Ouch! The wound of betrayal cuts deeper than the original pain. Has this happened to you? You share your weakness, and later that very weakness is used as an arrow against you. It's like giving someone your shield and realizing later they sharpened it into a sword to stab you. And here's another side: gossip. Some people don't even wait for conflict. They enjoy sprinkling your pain like salt over dinner conversations. They don't say, "Oh, poor soul, he is suffering." No, they say, "Do you know what happened to him? Let me tell you." And suddenly, your private sorrow becomes public entertainment. One wise man once said, "Never give the wrong person the map to your weaknesses." Why? Because when storms come, they won't help you navigate. They will point others to where your cracks are. And let's be honest, it's not always malicious. Sometimes people are careless. They don't realize how precious your trust was. But whether intentional or careless, the effect is the same. Your pain becomes ammunition. That's why, my dear friends, be very mindful. Sharing your pain is like handing someone the keys to your heart. And some people may use those keys not to enter and comfort you, but to lock you inside your own suffering. So the principle is simply, if someone has ever mocked you, belittled you, or spread your secrets before, they do not deserve the honor of carrying your pain. Because trust, once broken, can never be repaired in the same way. Remember this: not everyone who smiles at you is your friend, and not everyone who listens to you wishes you well. Your pain is sacred. Don't place it in the wrong hands. See, now, my friends, let me tell you something very important. When you share your pain, most people will give you sympathy. Very few will give you solutions. And the difference between the two is the difference between feeling better for a moment and truly healing for a lifetime. Think about it. You go to a friend and say, "I failed my exam. I feel so low." And your friend says, "Oh, you poor thing, I'm so sorry. You must be feeling terrible. Come, let's go have ice cream." And in that moment, yes, you feel good. A scoop of ice cream, a pat on the back. Sympathy feels like a warm blanket. But the next day, the problem is still there. You still don't know how to study better, how to manage your time, how to focus. The blanket made you comfortable, but it didn't heal the wound. On the other hand, if you go to a teacher, a mentor, or someone wise, they might also comfort you, but then they'll say, "All right, let's analyze. Why did you fail? Did you prepare properly? Did you have the right strategy? Let's work on a plan for next time." That, my dear friends, is a solution. Now let me make you laugh a little. Imagine someone comes to you and says, "I have a terrible headache." And you say, "Oh no, I understand, life is so hard. I had one last week too. May God give you strength." And then you walk away. That person doesn't need your poetry. They need a paracetamol tablet. Sympathy alone does not cure headaches. And sympathy alone does not cure heartbreaks. So here's the mistake many of us make. We share our pain with people who can only give us sympathy. Poor you, sad you, unlucky you. But we fail to seek out those who can give us guidance, direction, clarity. Now, don't misunderstand me. Sympathy is not bad. Sometimes we all need someone just to listen, to hug us, to say, "I'm here for you." That is beautiful. That is human. But if all you get is sympathy, without any wisdom, without any guidance, then your pain gets comforted, not cured. And that is why, my dear friends, you must ask yourself, when I am in pain, should I run to the one who entertains me, distracts me, pities me? Or should I run to the one who challenges me, questions me, corrects me, and uplifts me? Because the first will make you feel good for one night, but the second will transform your life forever. Remember this simple formula: sympathy soothes, solutions save. Choose wisely who you share with, because the direction you receive depends on the ear that listens to you. My dear friends, let's talk about energy. We often think pain is only an emotional burden, but it is also an energetic leak. And when you keep sharing your pain with everyone, instead of healing, you actually drain more energy from yourself. Think of your mind like a mobile phone battery. Every morning you wake up with 100% charge. Now, imagine throughout the day you keep opening apps: Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, WhatsApp, and never close them. By evening, your phone says low battery. Please recharge. In the same way, when you keep retelling your pain to 10 different people, one by one, it is like opening app after app after app, but never closing them. Instead of getting lighter, you end up exhausted. And here's the interesting part: when you tell your story again and again, you are not just draining energy, you are also reliving the pain each time. It's like reopening a wound and scratching it when it was about to heal. The more you talk about it without purpose, the more it becomes your identity. I'll give you a funny example. Imagine someone had a small accident 10 years ago, and still, when you meet them today, they say, "Oh, back in 2015, I slipped on a banana peel and fell." You're like, "Yes, uncle, you've told me 47 times already." The audience laughs. But you see, by repeating the story endlessly, they keep that incident alive inside them. Instead of a memory, it becomes an anchor holding them back. Now listen carefully. Sharing your pain can either lighten your load or multiply your heaviness. It all depends on how much and with whom. If you share with a wise person, once or twice, you release the burden and receive guidance. But if you share with 10 random people, you scatter your energy into pieces. Have you noticed after oversharing, you feel even more tired? That's because pain is not just in the heart, it's in the energy field of your whole being. And every time you speak it, you spend more of that energy. So what should we do? Conserve, protect, channel. Just like you don't let anyone keep plugging their chargers into your phone. Don't let everyone plug into your mind and drain your power. My friends, pain is heavy enough already. Don't make it heavier by scattering your energy everywhere. Share selectively, heal wisely, and guard your strength. Waf, my dear friends, in this journey of life, you will meet thousands of people. You will shake countless hands, share endless smiles, exchange polite conversations. But out of all those people, only a handful, maybe even just one or two, will truly deserve the title of trustworthy. Trust is not cheap. Trust is like gold. It is rare, it is precious, and it must never be handed over carelessly. Yet, what do we often do? Out of loneliness, out of desperation, out of the burning need to be heard, we hand over our trust like free samples at a supermarket. And then we wonder, why did this person misuse my secret? Let me tell you a story. A young man once went to a wise sage and said, "I shared my pain with my friend, and now everyone in the village knows. I feel so betrayed." The sage smiled and gave him a feather pillow. He said, "Cut this pillow open and let the feathers fly in the wind." The boy did as he was told. Feathers scattered everywhere. Then the sage said, "No, go and collect them all back." The boy said, "That's impossible. They've flown too far." The sage replied, "Exactly. That's what happens when you place your trust in the wrong person. Once words leave your lips, you cannot gather them back. And this is why, my friends, trust is rare. Not everyone who hears you protects you. Not everyone who hugs you holds you safely. Sometimes the same lips that kissed your cheeks yesterday will spread your secrets tomorrow. Now, don't get me wrong. People are not always evil. Sometimes they are just careless. They don't realize that your one confession was a sacred moment for you. For them, it was just another piece of gossip to fill the silence of an afternoon tea. That is why you must test people gently and patiently before placing your heart in their hands. How do they react when you share small things? Do they laugh at your weaknesses? Do they mock the mistakes of others? Do they hold grudges or spread stories? If they do, my friend, don't expect them to protect you when you share something bigger. Trust must be earned. And earned trust is a treasure. You may have thousands of contacts in your phone, but maybe only one or two names in there truly deserve to hear your deepest truth. So what do? We don't close our hearts completely. No. But we guard them wisely. We allow only those who have proven loyalty, consistency, maturity, and discretion to sit in the inner chambers of our soul. Remember this: in a world full of locks, keys are rare. In a world full of people, trust is rare. Value it, protect it, and never hand it out cheaply. Yeah, my dear friends, sometimes the best doctor for your pain is not another person. Sometimes the best doctor is silence. We live in a world that is always noisy. Phones buzzing, notifications pinging, people talking, traffic honking. Even when we're alone, we carry noise inside our minds, worries, regrets, memories, what ifs, maybes. And in this endless noise, how can healing happen? Have you noticed? When you cut your finger, you don't stand in the market screaming, "Look at my wound. Everyone please touch it." No. You cover it, you let it rest, you keep it safe, and in the quiet protection of time, the body heals itself. In the same way, my friends, your emotional wounds also need quiet. They need space. They need silence. But what do we often do? The moment we feel pain, we rush to tell the world. We narrate our sorrow to 10 people. And with every retelling, instead of healing, we keep scratching the wound open. Silence, however, works differently. Silence is not suppression. It is not pretending everything is fine. No. Silence is giving yourself the sacred space to process. Let me give you an example. Have you ever sat by a lake early in the morning? When the water is still, the reflection is clear. You can see the trees, the sky, even the birds passing above. But if the water is disturbed, if children are throwing stones in it, all you see are ripples and distortion. The same happens with the mind. When there is silence, you see things clearly. When there is too much noise, you see only confusion. Sometimes silence means sitting in prayer. Sometimes it means journaling your thoughts onto paper. Sometimes it means walking alone in nature, letting the wind carry away your sorrows. And sometimes silence simply means resting, closing your eyes, breathing deeply, and letting your soul reset. Now let me add a touch of humor. If you keep telling everyone your problems, they will start avoiding you. You call one friend, "Hello, I'm feeling low," and he says, "Sorry, I'm busy." You call another friend, "I'm broken," and she says, "Oh no, my battery is low." By the third friend, they don't even pick up the call. Why? Because too much noise drains others too. But silence never drains anyone. It recharges you. So remember, silence is not loneliness. Silence is therapy. Silence is medicine. Silence is the secret chamber where your pain transforms into wisdom. When the heart is in pain, you don't always need words. You don't always need people. Sometimes you just need to sit with yourself, with your God, with your breath, in the calm embrace of silence. Because healing doesn't always happen in conversations. Healing often happens in stillness. My dear friends, in life, you don't have to broadcast every wound to the whole world. Not everyone deserves the privilege of knowing your struggles. That's why I always say, be very selective in sharing your pain. Think about it this way. If you had an expensive diamond, would you leave it lying around in a crowded street, shouting, "Here, everyone, take a look at this diamond"? Of course not. You would keep it safe, guarded, protected. You would only show it to someone who knows the value of diamonds. In the same way, your pain is precious. It reveals your deepest vulnerability. You cannot hand it to everyone because not everyone knows how to hold it with care. When you are selective, you protect yourself from unnecessary disappointment. Some people simply don't have the maturity to handle your struggles. They will laugh, they will gossip, they will dismiss it. Others may genuinely care, but they lack the wisdom to guide you. And then there are those rare ones, the few chosen hearts, who not only listen with compassion, but also hold your pain as if it is their own. They are the ones who deserve your trust. Being selective also saves you energy. If you go around telling 10 people the same story of your pain, you scatter your emotions. But if you choose 1 or 2 people wisely, the act of sharing becomes powerful, healing, and focused. You conserve your energy while still finding relief. And let me share something funny. Have you ever noticed? The more people you tell your pain to, the more different kinds of advice you get. You tell one person, they say, ignore it, everything will be fine. You tell another, they say, fight back, show them who you are. You tell a third, they say, no, just pray, leave everything. By the end, you are more confused than before. This is what happens when you are not selective. Instead of clarity, you get chaos. So the secret is simple. Don't close your heart completely, but don't open it to everyone either. Observe people. Notice how they treat others' stories. If someone constantly mocks, criticizes, or gossips about others, be sure they will do the same with you. But if someone consistently shows maturity, compassion, and wisdom, that is the kind of person who deserves a place in your inner circle. Being selective does not mean being arrogant. It means being wise. It means respecting your own emotions enough to say, my pain is not for everyone's ears. It is for the chosen few who will understand, respect, and protect it. And when you practice this, you will see how much lighter, safer, and stronger your journey becomes. Because, my friends, not everyone deserves your story. But those who do, they become your anchors in the storm.